really, people are mentally screwed up. This is a mental thing for supporting. I know. We see the fire trucks. Sometimes the horsemen, the police on the horses, and I don't know how often you're going to see actual police cars and ambulances in parades. I'm thinking of there, so they're the big heroes. But we are all mentally screwed up. And children love this. Oh, the fireman, he's our savior. We're mentally screwed up to look at these people as some kind of saviors or good thing in our society. Let's just go even further with regard to the success of these things. Do you know how many accidents, how many times these things are easily flipped over? But how many accidents are caused because of their sorry, not that's not causing. It's just they're going so fast, and a bunch of dumb fucks don't get out of the way, which they should. I'm not saying that emergency services people are causing these accidents. It's the people who they don't pay attention to people who aren't paying attention. That's a really serious thing. And they brag to how the various municipalities say, oh well, we got it down to 3 minutes getting to the call. I'm all about your emergency services people doing their thing. Police, maybe they got to go to a scene for. Usually now it's today, it's overdoses. Whatever the situation is. But let's look at the dollars as being, and of course it's all through the Federal Reserve System, the communist America. Here in the United States of America, we have this severe pandemic of a problem of police. It's all through the Constitution for the police, but fires and but remember, Jason, didn't you see 9/11? Didn't you see all the video of all the firefighters running up the stairs in the buildings rescuing people? Our soldiers are fighting for our freedoms thousands of miles away. We want to fight them there so they don't got to bring it to our soil here in America. We need to do volunteer. We got to just burn down the whole thing, pun intended, pun not intended, I guess. Pardon the pun and pun intended. And just start all over, y'all. I'm telling you, the dollars being spent on these things. I know a lot of municipalities have done this. They say, okay, well, why are we sending out a fire truck to all these drug overdoses? They're the closest. That's the only vehicle that they have. So then they instead, you know what? We'll get a small car with 200 or 300 people that go out there. Because obviously the ambulances are all too busy and everything because they've only got so much. Or we'll just have a bigger supply of ambulances available. Usually you can put a person in the back and work on them, whatever it is in the back. They might have a few different things that you don't have in a car, in the trunk of a car or something, When I say car, you could SUV or Escalade, which now you deal with more gas. But the gas on these fire trucks, okay, just think about an RV. They're already carrying a lot of water as weight. It's bad for the environment with these fire trucks. Horrible. And they always gotta empty these things. I don't know how often it is, but you're talking about 500 to 650 gallons. And then, refill it up. And you're wasting all this water, you're wasting carrying all this stuff with gas that you're putting into these things. Fire trucks are a big waste of money. And then of course you're paying all these fire department people and firehouses, the electricity for those places, the water you're paying for. I mean, and then of course constant CE. I'll just say it. That's what I was thinking about. Whatever. Continuing education somehow. I don't know what. Look, I'm a finance guy. Okay, I don't know what their CE is, but they got to go through it. They constantly got to get recertified, different things. I know some guys have gone through. Starting for Congress, I met a lot of people in government. So I went to high school with guys that they wanted to go be a fireman. And they like the idea that they're going to get the pension. And it's all part of the government, which is a total failure in this country, people. So it's a good opportunity here to get back over to getting the community together. When you get the community together with regard to letting this be done through a volunteer basis, which is what we did after 9/11, communities came together and said, okay, we got to find out What's our exit strategy? What are we gonna do if there's a terrorist thing going on in our town? Well, take that to fires, okay? Really though, look at it. How many situations have you had whereby, okay, so that specific fire department, they came out and they prevented this huge explosion that protected the whole community, or they stopped that fire in that house that stopped a continuation of more buildings burning. There might be a good case whereby we find never it doesn't, it's never necessary. I mean, I think about the wildfires. It's another problem in California, some in Texas, whatever, Arizona. I've looked at this stuff wondering. I'm not saying it. Okay, now there's another thing too. I just thought of too. This whole like you could somebody invented something whereby you just like create some kind of noise and it just shuts off all the stuff that's burning. It's really weird. But really, just what if we just let it burn? Oh no! What if all these trees get burned? I mean, the whole everything gets burned up. I think people are just this is a mental thing, people. This is just a fear tactic. That's why we have all this stuff. The money that's it's funny. I just finished a video. I walked outside and there was already just a fire truck going. I know where they were going. They're going to an overdose. Really, a fire truck going to an overdose, and you're paying the tax people, okay, the taxpayers are paying for this stuff to the tax people, which is it's in Ohio. This is how you do it in Northeast Ohio. You've got North Olmsted, not Olmsted Township, because the townships don't pay taxes to this thing. It's called RITA, Regional Income Tax Authority. Income tax in the cities. That's how it's being paid. And then of course you got real estate taxes. North Olmsted, Ohio. I'm in Florida. I'm in the Caribbean. So we, in my hometown, just put in a $91 million school, which obviously it's not really being used. That's paid for by real estate. When you go look at the numbers of this stuff, the dollars that people are paying for these things, and the corruption, the pay to play programs, and of course, the way these contracts are being fake bidded, I look back, I see, 1 in 31. I keep looking at this thing, man. It's like, really? Okay, so you're 1 in 15, now you're 0 in 16. At what point do we just say, and still now, I say we okay, playoffs should not be, in University of Kentucky, John Calipari said, we don't put up banners for making the Final Four or Sweet 16. No, we're in the championships, that's it, Um, Stefanski. Do we move on from the Browns? I think I already said during the season we're gonna make the playoffs and then we're gonna get bounced, and we did. We got lucky against Pittsburgh. We hit them in the mouth good in that first quarter, 28-0. But that's as far as you got, and why are we keeping him in this year? Well, great, we made the playoffs. We should expect nothing other than at least going to the Super Bowl. I understand not winning it, okay? Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, they've been there. They've had issues with not winning it. LeBron, okay? How many years in a row did he go to the finals? You going to fire LeBron because he didn't make it that first year in LA? But the whole fire truck thing, it's nothing but failure, 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 failure. And obviously, I look back and I see the Honorable, the Great George Floyd. The fire truck people who were involved in that, there was one woman, she was off duty. She testified. And she was told a joke. But hey, we won the case, kind of, because they're going to appeal it. So we kind of lost it. But today's the 4th of May. And it sounds crazy that I'm saying just get rid of all, not just some are good, some are bad, all fire departments in the whole country, and replace them with like my family's from Nassau, New York. Go ahead and look it up. NASSAU 12123 is the zip code. All right, so this is in near Albany, not Nassau. So this is a village, like 2,000 people. They got one stoplight. It's right there. Technically, I think it is Route 2. So it goes up to Lions Lake, which we went over here. Lyons, little lake, real small, almost a pond. So it's like maybe 10 or 15 miles southeast of Albany, near East Greenbush, Rensselaer County. Okay, it's an all volunteer fire department, and they stay at home. They don't gotta pay for all that other stuff and play cards up in the top floor and then go down the pole. I don't think they have those anymore. And of course, Olmsted Township. I mean, that's not volunteer, but I've talked to these guys, and they do sit around a lot over on Fitch Road, next to the police department, by the building department. Well, the building department's actually on Cook Road, technically. Olmsted Township, Olmsted Falls. You can OLMSTED. You can look these things up. But I don't support them. We've been cool. I've communicated a little bit. And they're putting out fires. Oh yeah, they love to pull out the hose and all that stuff. That hardly ever happens not just anymore, but just hardly. It's not just that it's outdated, y'all. It's just that it never worked. It's a waste of money. Pensions, HR, all this stuff that just goes into it. They do a lot of support for mental health and stuff like that because they experience a lot of conflict. So why are we running ourselves into the ground with these things? So you heard it from me. We're getting rid of these fire departments. I've already said we're getting rid of the police. I like ambulances. I do. Something about it. I think we're succeeding with these ambulance things. But I'm sure we can find ways to improve. Like who's actually looking at improving these things though? There's no way to even improve on these emergencies. Nobody would even question this stuff, and I'm the one. Great. See, not just questioning it, but just replace it. Thank you so much.